Happy Monday, welcome to part 3 of my YouTube. So in my previous 2 videos, I talked about how we develop a survival identity and then how that survival identity shows up. So today I'm going to be talking about why change feels so difficult, or why it can sometimes feel actually impossible, even when you know what it is you need to do or what it is you need to change. So you want to do things differently. You're sick of saying yes when part of you desperately wants to say no. Feeling tired and drained. Feeling like you don't matter. People telling you you're too soft. But when it comes to the moment of actually doing it, of actually having the difficult conversation, of speaking up for yourself, you freeze and it feels impossible. So you put it off again. And you feel worse about yourself because you told yourself you were going to do it this time. Maybe you've read books, watched videos, listened to podcasts. Maybe you've tried hyping yourself up in the mirror, giving yourself a pep talk. Your friends have given you advice, like just say no, stand up for yourself. And you don't understand why you just can't seem to do it. This is because your nervous system and your inner child feel speaking up for yourself isn't safe. And they show you this through your bodily experience, through flooding you with fear, cortisol, adrenaline, which paralyze your nervous system. This is why it literally feels impossible. You're not being dramatic. That's how it feels. Imagine going to put your hand on a really hot stove, even going to step into an ice bath. At the thought of it, your body tenses up. It doesn't want to do it. And so it's very difficult to force through this because your body literally doesn't want to do it and is preventing you from doing it. Because your body is wired for survival. And it's been wired through chemicals and repetition over and over again over the years. But also by your brain, which now thinks this survival identity you're operating in is who you are. So when you try and step outside of this identity to do something different, it's like you feel really, really uncomfortable because your brain is like, this is not who we are. This isn't what we do. What are you playing at? And whereas other teachers and coaches will teach you this on a mindset level and say things to you like, tell yourself that this anxiety that you're feeling is really excitement, I teach a different approach because mindset didn't work for me. And it doesn't work for my clients, and it doesn't work for the women I speak to. And actually telling them that it's a mindset issue and can be solved through mindset alone, having them try that and fail, makes them feel worse and like there's something wrong with them. If other people are managing to do it and use this approach and it's working for them, then why isn't it working for these women? And so my approach involves being nurturing, being supportive. Because when you're trapped in a survival identity, the way you get out of that identity is by realizing that this identity isn't actually who you are, but something that you learn to do to survive. Understanding how your brain and your nervous system work, connecting with your future self, who is no longer a people pleaser, who has solved this problem, and working with your nervous system that learn to play it safe by playing small, by shrinking, and by being agreeable. Your system has learned keeping other people happy keeps me safe. And your brain thinks this is who you are because you've done it over and over again. And this is the part that frustrates people the most. You can understand all of this logically. You can watch videos, read books, and still not change. Because these patterns are in your nervous system, they're automatic. They happen before you've even had time to think. It's like a well-worn path. The more something has been repeated, the easier it is for your brain to go down that route, even if there is a new path available. Your system automatically defaults to the old one. And you built a whole identity around these patterns. I'm an anxious person. I'm not confident. I'm just bad at relationships. So now you're not just changing behavior. You're going against who you believe you are. And that creates resistance from your inner child. So when you find yourself repeating patterns, it doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean you're lazy. It doesn't mean you're broken. It means your system is learning exactly what it learned to do. Just like how your mind can go on autopilot when you're driving, it goes on autopilot in other situations too. But here's the important thing. Just because something is familiar doesn't mean it's true. And it doesn't mean it has to stay that way. So instead of asking, why do I keep doing this? We can begin to ask, where did I learn this? What does my system think it's protecting me from? And that question alone begins to create space. And this is where the real change begins. Not by forcing yourself to be different, but by understanding what's driving the pattern underneath. Because once you see that clearly, you can start to interrupt it. And we can work with the concept of future self to see you, to meet the you that's already stepped out of this timeline, that's solved this problem. And at the same time, we can work with your inner child to comfort them and reassure them that change can be nurturing and learn to feel safe to them. So if you liked this video, do me a favor, hit all the buttons, subscribe to my channel, like it, share it, comment. It all helps the algorithm. Okay, so peace out. Stay blessed.